Oh. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. चक्षुर्गच्छति न वाग् गच्छति न विद्मः न मनः न प्राणः. Upanishad says the self, the pure consciousness, the reality is that where no chakshur gacchati, where the senses cannot go, meaning senses job is one. What is it? To illuminate their respective objects. Just as the eyes illuminate the forms and colors, the ears, they illuminate the sound, the tongue illuminates the taste, skin, the touch, and the nose, the smell. Is that infinite reality, which is our essential nature, does it come in the purview of these five? Can you see, hear, touch, smell, taste the self, the reality, the pure consciousness? Na chakshur gacchati, na vag gacchati. Not even the sense perceptions or the sense perceptions can reach it. Even the organs of action cannot reach it, because the organs of action, speech, hands, legs, genitals, and anus, they are even grosser than the organs of knowledge, which are the five senses. So both of them have got no capacity, ability to illuminate, to understand the truth, because the senses are only reflectors. Na vidmaha na manaha. Neither can it be known, the mind cannot comprehend it, the intellect cannot conceptualize it. Na vijanimaha. And it is not that it is not unknown also. It is known. But your faculties of knowledge, organs of action, organs of perception, mind, intellect, pranas, and the absence of all these are incapable of illuminating, comprehending, understanding this reality that you are. Then what is to be done? If it is not, if all the faculties that we have taken ourselves to be what we just mentioned, those. We think we are the body, we think we are the senses, we think we are the mind, we think we are intelligent. And these are the only equipments or faculties we know through which to gain knowledge. Then what is to be done? Then if all these are important in front of the reality, then is there no possibility for me to come to know? No, you can come to know. Certainly you can come to know. Why you can come, how you can come to know? It's not how or why or when or where. The scriptures say you are the reality. So start dropping everything initially. Later on, we'll include everything. Initially, start dropping whatever you are not. Everything that is changing, be indifferent to it. You can't drop it. You can't let go of any damn thing in this world. Because everything is made up of the same thing. So how can you let go of anything? Then what can you do? As long as you think you are an individual, remember this point. As long as you think you are an individual is born due to identification with the body, breath, mind, intellect. So as long as you think you are an individual, till then, your aim while you are living in and through your life must be to be indifferent towards organs of action, to be indifferent towards the sense perceptions, to be indifferent towards the mind, to be indifferent towards the thoughts and the concepts and the ideas and the imaginations. First step is being indifferent. When you become indifferent, you can only become indifferent if you discriminate. And what is the discrimination? Oh, what is the changing principle? What is the changeless principle? I don't know. Okay, do you know what is changing? Yeah. Body is changing, breath is changing, thoughts are changing, emotions are changing. Okay, whatever you know is changing, be indifferent to that. And once we have become foolproof, undisturbed, not distracted by anything, not agitated by anything, even the memories. Because memories, mind is nothing but mana, buddhi, chitta, ahankar. So no memories, no expectations. We are not denying anything. All we are doing is not giving value and importance to the faculties. This is the initial step. See? But then what do we do when we do not give importance? No, once you become indifferent to all these, or as you are doing this, the best way to be indifferent to all these is initially that as all this change is going on, the organs of actions are changing, moving, sense perceptions are sometimes seeing, sometimes not seeing when you blink, sometimes hearing, sometimes not hearing, that is your experience. Sometimes tasting, sometimes not tasting, sometimes speaking, sometimes not speaking. Who knows all this? Fall in love with him, with it. Fall in love with that principle. Fall in love with the one in whose presence all these faculties are functioning. Then what will happen? A natural indifference towards all these faculties will come about. Naturally, you can force it to happen. How can you force? By yoga, by Kundalini, by studies of scriptures. What are we doing here? Programming our mind, reformatting our mind. Do you need to reformat in order to be? No, I am. Just you are in love with the world. Change the focus, be in love with yourself. Will it not be selfish? Yes, it will be selfish initially. It feels that way, it looks that way. But selfishness is when I want everything what others have. This is mumukshatvam, that I am in an urgency to know myself as I am, not as I imagine I am, not as I project I am. No, I have the urgency to know as I am. So if I want to know as I am, which is the infinite reality, then initially I have to think about it. Initially I have to contemplate. And when I keep coming back to this unchanging principle, when I keep coming back to this one illuminator, this one knower, this one principle, which is not other than me, who knows that colors and forms are coming and going, the thoughts are coming and going, the breath is coming and going, the heartbeat is coming and going, the ideas in the mind are coming and going. Who is this fellow? Be curious, be an explorer. And when you explore this, because remember, we said exploration, seeking, curiousness is only in the mind and intellect. They can never come to know it. But you have to give that mind and intellect a task, because they are also looking for some solution in life. Your whole mind and intellect are only active only to find content and peace and tranquility. And they are thinking that it will come from the world. Give it a go. So many years you are loved by giving value and importance to the world. Now give importance to the self. Neither you have given importance to the world. Have you been able to catch the world? Till today, you have not been able to catch it. 30, 40, 50, 60 years. So now maybe it's time. Let us try the other frontier. First was the external frontier. Now let's try the internal one. And when we start very quickly, achirat, the moment you put attention there, that very moment, all your focus on the faculties suddenly drops away. You're unconcerned about the faculties. And when we are able to remain in ourselves as ourselves for a certain period, for an elongated period of time, see, then what is to be done when it has become dhrud, when it has become firm, that you are the conscious principle other than the prakriti, the matter. Matter is that which is changing. You are the one which is unchanging. You have come to know this. You have had you know, how do you know that you are the unchanging? Because you are not, you are just like I know I'm not you. It is a direct experience. You get a direct experience, a direct knowledge that you are other than the Prakriti. That you are other than the body, breath, mind, intellect. And once that happens, then there is no going back. It will always remain with you. But yes, it will remain with you, but we don't know. That's why I said the word firm before. So get firmly established in the self as the self. Because there is every possibility that the world or the body or the mind hijacks you, and again identification comes about. Why? Old habit. So you have to create a new habit. What is that? Well, habit is in the mind, not in the self. So what was the habit? We use the mind to contemplate on the self, the unchanging one. And when we become established in the unchanging as the unchanging, then all the changing doesn't affect us. But here there is still duality, and we want to go to that one principle which is all inclusive, or which is one without a second, ekameva dvitiya principle. Then what is to be done? Now, don't allow yourself to go into samadhi. Then what? Once we have become firm that we are the conscious principle, we are the conscious principle and not the Prakriti. Now what is to be done? Now this Atma, again, because it is not going to get hijacked by the mind, he has got no desires to fulfill because he has become firm in that it is it knows itself as the self, that it is separate. Now it again invokes the mind. And in that mind, now the second part of the sadhana begins. And what is that? Because sadhana can begin only through communication. Sadhana means communication to yourself by way of thoughts. Then what is the communication? That this self that I am is the one without a second, is all that there is. It is the efficient cause and the material cause of the entire creation. Creation meaning waking, dream, deep sleep, samadhi. It is the material cause, just like water is the material cause of the waves and the ocean and the absence of the waves and ocean. Similarly, this self is the material cause. And in this world of experiences, we have never come across anything where something is the efficient cause also and the material cause also, both at the same time. Now that's the next. Initially, we came to know the self. The self is other than the faculties. Now we have to discover that this self is all that there is. The penultimate step to get to that is that this self is the one alone which is expressing in and through the entire universe, the in and through all the beings, all the living and the non-living. This vision has to be developed. And this vision does not come by your thinking. It will come by grace. But we have to begin. We have to begin somewhere. And it will only come when we with this understanding that this self that I am is of the nature of all inclusiveness, that it is one without a second, that in its presence, the entire creation is uh, uh, expanding and contracting, expressing and non-expressing, manifestation and unmanifestation. And that manifestation and unmanifestation cannot be possible without you. And that manifestation and unmanifestation is your potentiality, is your nature, is taking place due to the bliss of the self. In fact, that bliss of the self alone is manifesting as the manifestation and unmanifestation. This is the penultimate. And then when you sit in meditation, then even that thought also goes away. Then you are with yourself. And when this has been practiced for a long period of time, or by God's grace, it clicks in one go, then thereafter, there is only the self and nothing else. The phenomena continues, but there is no individual expressing. The people see one individual Mahatma, but from Mahatma's point of view, there is no individuality. He is one. He is expressing in and through all. He is all that there is. He is all that there is. He is all that there is when he is in silence. When he has to say something, then he is the speaker and he is the spoken to and he is the speech. All the three he is alone. Then where is the question of differences? No differences. In this manner, we must be clear of our journey, even though that journey is imagined, but it's okay. We have to give up. We have to become indifferent to this obsessive conduct of ours, wherein the basic premise is I am the body, that this world is real. And fall in love with the self, with the conscious principle, in whose presence all these unwanted thoughts that I am the body, I was born, I have a future, all these stupid thoughts are illuminated. Once you recognize that you are not the thoughts, your obsession with them will drop away. And we come back to our friends. In this manner, wherever you are, whatever you are, start from there. Start your journey to be the self, which is your natural state.